Hey everybody, and welcome to Project Talk, your favorite 4:30 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon live stream along the Eastern Seaboard, containing one American and one Canadian. I am Glenn from Fun King 3D, and with me, as always, is the Prussia from another mother. Oh, I guess James is there too. Oh, how is everybody doing tonight? I gotta say, I gotta totally admit, I was not looking forward to the stream today.
Oh, why don't we just cancel him?
I was fully engrossed in playing Red Dead. That's all there is to it.
Is this? You're gonna stop being a content creator. You're gonna have to become a streamer, I guess, to try and.
It is causing some problems in my life. Yes. Yes.
You should probably stop that.
I have a very addictive personality, and yeah. So I do want everybody to know that it was my wife's fault that we were late.
It's
She
true.
waited till the last minute to ask me for the car keys
The khakis.
that were in my pocket.
The khakis that were in your khakis.
Yes, the khakis that were in the pocket of my khakis.
Okay, so this stream's gonna be a repeat, where I'm replacing the bearings on my Prusa bed.
Oh, I thought we were going to play a former one so that I could go play Red Dead.
Do you play on PC?
Yeah.
Well, just go stream your gameplay from PC. There you go.
Why didn't I think about that? Yeah, well, I could. I just have to go to the other computer, but nobody wants to watch that.
I got my. Come on, focus.
I guess.
Is it not gonna? Wait, I might have autofocus off because it was being a jerk when I.
I'll just hold them back further away.
That's yeah.
The electronics box there is quite focused.
Okay. Under pressure. There we go.
Wow.
It's dryling.
So fancy.
Dryling.
That's the real deal. Let me run down the chat real quick. Local Maker Michigan gets bragging rights for being first. If anybody posted before,
we didn't see it. It doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't show to me. So
if the glove don't fit, you must have quit.
Right. No, if you post like 2 seconds after I schedule the stream, it's not going to be here by the time I get here. Uncle Ron is also here. Alan Osborne. Ollie is here. Glenn Hogue.
Ow.
Is it Brecor 3D? Justin, welcome. Tom Elrod, Mitch 3D. Phew, that was a short list. We had 8 people watching. Now we only have 6. They said, "Oh crap, he's going to talk about Red Dead. We're out." Actually, I am still working with the laser. I didn't touch it all week, but I have a new piece of plywood loaded up, and I'm working on. I suppose I could just throw my screen up here.
So I have not printed with this actually since I fixed up the bearings the last time and repacked them with grease and all that jazz, because I have a 20-some hour print that I need to do that I'd prefer not to screw up just because I thought it was working okay and it wasn't. So we're gonna fix the problem permanently.
It's probably a good plan. So with my burning of this plywood, I'm trying to figure out how to do like the outline darker than the inside. There's a little bit of a learning curve to this. Mitch said the Prusa will be silent, right?
Silent but violent, so it's going to be pretty smelly.
It should be a little more quiet than what it was.
I'm only doing the y-axis for now, because the X and the Z aren't giving me trouble. I don't even know if I'd bother to, like, I guess if I was doing a full teardown and clean, I'd probably do the Z-axis.
Is the X is so tough to pull apart.
Well, and the Z-axis, basically barely moves compared to the other two. So unless I had it fully torn apart, and even then, I don't know. I don't know if it's worth it.
I don't know.
Hey, were you ever a fan of Quantum Leap?
Yes.
Did you know that there is a new series?
I'm quite familiar with that.
With the new one?
Yes.
Have you been watching it?
I have been.
I have not talked yet to anybody else that has been watching it as well, so I am curious to hear what you think of it so far.
Okay, so without giving away any spoilers, because it is still a very new series, I was. We're what 2 episodes in now?
4.
Is it really 4? Oof.
Yeah, you may not have seen all 4. The last one was the. No, it was so there was the boxing one. There's been one since the boxing one. If you haven't seen the boxing one yet,
I've seen the boxing one.
so the next one, so the boxing one ends up with him teleporting into a.
Yep. I know. Don't give it away.
Okay.
Let people watch. You're right. So, in the beginning, I didn't. Not that I wasn't enjoying it, but I didn't feel good that it was going to make it. Like, it just felt like a new copy of an old thing.
Yeah.
And it just didn't feel good. But the last episode now, they threw in a couple of good twists in there.
You're talking about that one discussion where the head guy's talking about stuff. Yeah, that didn't give away.
And pertaining to the lady with the thumb drive.
Yes.
The daughter, the young girl.
I'm trying to. Maybe we'll talk on Twitter a bit afterwards too, because I'm not.
The girl that doesn't work with the guy in charge.
But yeah, you're talking. But like, are you talking? Oh, yes. It ends on that like semi cliffhangery thing.
Yeah, it's a little cliffhangery.
Getting ziggy with it.
So yeah, I'm curious to see how they I don't want to give it away. But I want to see where they go with that.
So it's actually doing very well for Peacock. It debuted as their number one. It has their number one debut and is currently slotted as their number one streaming TV show, and it just got picked up for an additional 4 or 6 episodes for this season. Good. So they've extended the season order total. I am curious where everything's going to go with it, because Scott Bakula has said that he is not involved in the series, but that doesn't mean we'll never be.
Right.
And somebody else has been like, yeah, but like, is he not involved, or is he not involved the way Andrew Garfield is not involved in Spider-Man? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you can't trust anything anybody says. Like, just because he said he is or isn't doesn't mean he is or isn't. I do wish that they had gotten the chance to do this series before. I'm drawing a blank on his name now, but the actor that played Al, had passed away.
Yeah.
It was interesting. So Scott Bakula went on to be the captain in Star Trek Enterprise, right?
Right.
And he insisted on bringing back. Maybe somebody in chat will have the name of the guy. But he convinced them to bring him back for an episode of Enterprise, just so they could share screen time together. So it was interesting. I think that's the last time they were on an actual show together. So
I'm having a heck of a time with the learning curve of this software compared to everything else that I use. Like, it can do the same things. It's just, it does it differently.
I'm trying to remember exactly how I did this last time, because I kind of found a semi-easy mode on how to like get things apart without having to fully strip everything down. Okay, well, that left one bearing behind.
I should figure out how to put my screen up without it taking the whole. Let me do that.
Okay, I remember what I did. I started bawling my eyes out last time. That's what I did.
I bet.
Well, did anybody else in chat say that they're watching Quantum Leap?
No, I don't see anybody chiming in. Mitch said Paramount couldn't get people to subscribe to a 10th subscription service.
Joke's on you, it's Peacock.
Mitch also said that he only briefly saw the original. It was kind of X-File-ish. Well, okay, so I guess we can slightly spoil the original one, because if you haven't seen it by now, good God, it's like 5,000 years old.
Do you want me to give the rundown while you're doing the software stuff, or do you want to do the
Sure.
talk?
No,
Okay.
that's good.
So theorizing that one might be able to time travel within their own life, Scott Bakula stepped into the quantum leap accelerator and disappeared. He found himself in a body that wasn't his and driven by a force to put right once went wrong, and hoping that each leap forward would be his leap home. Is that pretty accurate?
Completely geeky and amazing at the same time.
Basically, the main character played by Scott Bakula is a guy named Sam Beckett, who is a physicist, and he devises a way to accelerate yourself. He assumes your life is a circle. But he also comes up with the idea that maybe your life's a circle, but it also may be like string where you can jumble things up. So instead of having day 1 lead to day 2 lead to day 3, you may have connections between other days. So you would be able to accelerate yourself around the circle in your life and end up on a different date in time. But the big twist is when he gets there, he's not in his own body; he's in somebody else's body. And as they start looking into stuff, it's like, oh, it turns out the person, like maybe the first person, oh, he dies 2 days after you got here, and when he stops that person from dying 2 days after he gets there, he leaps and ends up in a different body in a different situation, trying to help somebody else. And that is Quantum Leap in a nutshell. It also has a pretty catchy theme song that I learned how to play on the clarinet in elementary school, which gained me some popularity with people because the show was popular at the time. So, are you playing the theme song to Quantum Leap? Yeah. Can you teach me that? I can, but it'll cost you everything.
I will tell you though, it's a good show and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I used to own it on DVD. I think they're long gone by this point. I have it all digitally now.
I'm the same boat. I'm trying to get, because Kay's enjoying the new one.
It's a very hard series to watch back to 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 back.
No, it's better off one a day or maybe even one a week if you're just looking for something to
it gets very repetitive.
Yeah.
Because I mean, there's only so much you can do with that storyline, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like The Knight Rider. We've been watching, not recently, we stopped probably a year ago now, but we were watching Knight Rider like multiple episodes a day. And it got to the point where it was just like, it's the same thing. Like, oh, he's going to go into this town and then there's going to be a dude there that starts something. He's going to get into a fight, like it's the same every time.
Yep. It's just one quantum leap after another.
Though the old shows are super fun to watch now on high definition TV because you can see the flaws. Mainly with Knight Rider, like you can totally see the dude hiding in the car driving it. Like it's. Sorry, spoiler alert. Kit doesn't actually drive itself.
Believe it or not, I'm walking on air. I never thought I could be so free.
I haven't seen that show in a long time.
I started watching it, and anything I watch right now, I either watch 1 or 2 episodes a week, or Kay has to be into it. And Kay wasn't into it, and it wasn't a show that was quite good enough to take over my slot of time to watch shows that we watch individually.
Yeah.
Star Trek: The Next Generation actually ended up being one of those series where when they remastered in high def, they used to block off. I might get the detail a little wrong here because it's like one of those like things you didn't know about Star Trek: The Next Generation videos. They used to put like cardboard and stuff over some of the screens to dull the stuff down, or like to make it look like the terminals were dead. And on regular 480i broadcast, you couldn't tell that. But now that they're remastered in 1080p from the original reels and stuff, you can very much see that there's stuff taped over the screens. And so.
Brilliant.
Believe it or not, I'm a copyright infringement. These don't. There's more play in these than I would expect, rotating them from side to side. I'm gonna put one of the original bearings back on and just see. I guess it's about the same. Believe it or not. Here. Believe it or not, George isn't at home. Do you remember that?
Yep.
I hate that answering machine.
Yeah, I may have to do this in a completely different software and bring it into this software to
Oh my
do
God.
what it is I want to do.
Do a diddy? Diddy dum? Diddy do? Oh, there she was. I do look forward to these chats and stuff. We should be asking other people, though. What old shows did you used to watch?
Yeah, but then I have to look back over at the.
I'm keeping an eye on chat.
Oh, okay.
Infinity Glenn said Builder's Marks. I always get his name wrong. Rangian Biker?
That's
Fixed
Ollie.
it. Ollie?
Ollie.
Ollie. Ollie says he hasn't seen the new one yet. I'm assuming that means he's a fan of the old one. Hey, did you like the new Knight Rider that they tried for? So they did that. They did a made-for-TV movie.
Mustang. I hate Mustangs.
I know you
Holy
hate
crap.
Mustangs, but
Holy crap, do I hate Mustangs?
and I think Val Kilmer was doing the voice for the new kit.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think so.
So I have it. I watched it back when it was actually on TV 100,000 years ago, and I couldn't do it. I just couldn't.
Because of the Mustang?
I don't know if it was because of the Mustang, and I know I'm going to take a lot of heat for that, but I don't hide it. I don't like Mustangs.
Okay, so I really enjoyed the movie they did, which was also a backdoor pilot. A backdoor pilot, in case anybody doesn't know, because probably everybody does, but a backdoor pilot's when they do a made-for-TV movie, but they leave it open-ended so that if the water's warm for it, that they can then do a TV show based on it, and that just ends up being the pilot for the show.
Right.
I thought the movie was well done, pretty well done anyways, and then the series was like, it felt like they spent a bunch of time writing the movie, not thinking they were going to get picked up as a series, and then we're like, oh crap, okay, now we have to put a series together. There's been shows that have suffered from. So, do you remember Heroes? I mean, I guarantee you remember Heroes. It was a phenomenon for a little while there.
Heroes.
Hiro Nakamura, save the cheerleader, save the world. People around the world start getting superpowers and they don't know how or why.
Oh yeah.
And it had what's his name that played Spock in the new movies? Zachary Quinto was like the main villain, and his superpower was stealing superpowers from other people. Anyways, Heroes, the original creator took years to write the first script and write this like well done storyline for it, and then they're like, okay, we're renewing you for a second season. You've got 8 months to get all the scripts turned out and get everything filmed and everything, basically. And it's like, well, crap. So, and then what he turned out was, well, crap.
Well, and then, Magnum PI. I was enjoying Magnum PI. I'm not a huge fan of reboots, and yet that seems like all we're getting now is reboots.
See, I appreciated Quantum, and I haven't seen Magnum PI, so I can't say whether or not. But I appreciate the fact that Quantum Leap is a logical continuation from the original show.
Yeah, it's enough. It's enough of that they're not trying to redo it, that they're expanding on what was originally there.
Like, that all happened, and you get to see some of the stuff from the original show as you go along. You see some of the original tech and stuff. So it's like, okay, yeah, this all makes sense.
Right. Well, and the storyline kind of follows it, but Big Mike says Fox Body Mustangs revolutionized drag racing in the 90s. Here's my problem. Let's just clear this up right now. Let's get this whole Mustang thing out of the way and why I don't like Mustangs. First of all, I have a problem with Ford. I own a couple of them. Entirely too many, actually. I have a problem with Ford. But that's not even it. The real problem is the owners of Mustangs. 90% of Mustang owners decide to use an option that's hidden in the glove box, and it's called an attitude. And when they get it, it's optional to use it, and they all put it on like they're the most amazing things ever. I built my 92 Eagle Talon specifically to be a Mustang killer. I love to put the smack down on a 5-liter V8 with my 2-liter 4-cylinder. That's it. That's all the further we got to go. It's fine. I know you can build an amazing Mustang. People are still doing it.
So you don't have a problem with the Mustang per se. You have a problem with the way people act when they have a Mustang.
Yes, people. Not everybody. but there's a majority of people that buy a Mustang and suddenly they think their poop don't stink.
I would argue probably not even a majority. It's the vocal minority.
Well, you got to remember, I hang out in the automotive communities, so it is the majority of those.
But yeah, that's assuming that the majority of Mustang owners end up in those communities and get to talk to you.
Right. And then what about the people who buy a V6 Mustang and then just think it's the most amazing car ever because there's a 8-cylinder Mustang out there?
So I know when my brother bought his Mustang, because he bought a 2005 Legend Lime Green Mustang on the first year of the new old style. If that makes sense to you, I know it does.
Yes. The classic body style.
Yeah, and he bought the 8-cylinder. And there came a time where I was considering buying a Mustang. I wasn't much of a car guy, but like I had a budget for a car, and I did love the way they look. I think they did a good job on the redesign for the like retro, whatever you want to call it. And we were talking, he said kind of the only part that sucked for him is that if I buy the 6-cylinder, and this was like 4 or 5 years later, it was more powerful than his 8-cylinder because the way the engine designs had changed. And he's like, that's frustrating to me to be picking up, to have gotten the highest end one, and then within a few years, it's like, yeah, you can get the low end one and it beats it now, performance wise, not everything,
Right,
not feature wise,
right.
but
yeah, but it's true for, well, I won't say all of them, but I mean, it's true for a lot of manufacturers.
I think over time, yes, that definitely makes sense. You can buy the most powerful car from 1950 and it'll be beaten by a Geo or whatever. Like that is the way it is. But 5 years is not much of a difference for, you know what I mean? Like most engines last, like most engines are in service, like in remodels and stuff like that for more than 5 years. So anyways.
All right, so now I got to go back and see what kind of heat I'm taking here. Mitch said, LOL, Eagle Talon, like the Fast and the Furious hero, Eclipse, but driven by people that got it handed down to them 20 years ago. No, Eagle Talon, first gen. I have a first gen Eclipse, not the second. I had a second gen Eclipse, like the Fast and the Furious one, but it was a non-turbo, so it had to go. Wasn't fast enough.
It was all Furious, no fast.
I don't even know if it was furious. I was pretty furious then. I thought that car was fast when I got it because I went from driving pickup trucks to that thing, and I thought it was a rocket ship until I rode in one that had a turbo, and then I said, "All right, this car's got to go."
Did you give the old Arnold? It's turbo time.
It's time for the turbo. But yeah.
Sorry,
the Dodge Stealth was pretty awesome. The Dodge Stealth and the Mitsubishi 3000 GT, absolutely a cool car, but heavy for what it was.
The Maverick being a pickup truck hits me the same way as the new Chargers being a 4-door. It's like, okay, we've got this iconic sports car that made it big in some TV show a while ago. How can we maximize that? Well, let's make it a family sedan with a fairly robust engine.
They do that. They do that with a lot of things, though. It's like
they don't want to bother the new SUV Mustang.
Well, they don't want to register new names and stuff. The new Ford Lightning is now the electric pickup truck. When before it was this like super fast, petrol powered, like.
Yep.
I did hear something, and I will give credit where credit's due, except for I can't remember the guy's name. He was a comedian, but and this is slightly unchild friendly. So if your kid's listening, plug their ears for a second. You can take the name of almost every Ford car and put the word anal in front of it, and it works.
Oh, because probe.
Focus, probe, expedition, explorer, flex.
Not Mustang, not Maverick. I mean that. Well, I guess that word can work with any word, though. Is the other problem is that
Maverick works pretty good. Yeah, but like okay, if we go over to Chevy, Corvette.
And of course, when we say anal, we're talking about people that like get set on details and stuff. They're like anal about everything being correct.
Sure, if that's where you want to go with that.
I'm keeping it family friendly. I'm looking up.
I'm not sure that's where the comedian was going though. I just thought that was really funny when I seen it. So, yeah, Uncle Ron said Ranger.
Go anal ranger. Not for all audiences, this stream. I mean, most of our videos or our streams are not for all audiences, but that's just because we're boring and lame. This is the first time we come by it honestly.
But you know, just to clarify, and I mean, I said it publicly, and I always say it publicly. I don't like Mustangs. If you own a Mustang, it is fine. I won't hold it against you until I have a reason to.
It's like, oh, that guy just flipped me off. He's a Mustang owner. I was expecting it. Wherever things go wrong, it's because of the vehicle you drive.
Well, it's funny because growing up, one of my cousins was a diehard Mustang fan, and he had a. Now this would have been late '80s. Just so you guys know, I believe that was the Fox body era, if I'm not mistaken. But he had a convertible GT50, and his buddy had one just like it, and like could just be ripping down the road at 45, downshift, and just break the tires loose. The car was amazingly fast, but I can't even finish saying that because it's a family-friendly channel. He was not. I'm just trying to think of a family-friendly way of saying this. He was not the coolest dude I ever hung out with. How's that? Let's say his car went swoosh, and what he was rhymed with that. Oh, I see we're still playing with Ford names. That's brilliant. No, I pick on Ford a lot because their whole engineering team has a special place in hell. But I do own three of them currently. It's pretty bad that I have to run down my inventory. But hey, there's my mom. It was a French bath. I may give up on this laser thing because I wanted to have it already burning by now, or it's not going to be done. I had to wait an extra half hour for the last one to finish, and it didn't even burn the Jolly Roger. Like it went through the motions, but it didn't burn anything. So, yeah. What am I trying to do? Okay, so I'm trying to recreate my logo so that I can burn it. I want to have, and I don't know if I took everything away. I think I took everything away. So I want to do an outline like this around all of this, except for I want the outline to fill in this box and this box. And then I want this spacing in here. I hope you guys can see this. I want the spacing in here to burn darker than this. I don't want him to have blackface. That would be bad. I want the face part of it to burn very lightly. Maybe not at all. I guess not at all would be fine because it's kind of a yellowy plywood. And then I want the eyes and the inside of the mouth to burn dark and the tongue to burn lighter. That's what I'm shooting for. So somebody spoon feed me.
I'm doing this on purpose. Ignore it.
Oh, okay. So I figured out that I can take this and this, and I can use the subtract tool, and it technically, nope, it didn't work that time. See, I'm having a hard time with the Boolean tools. Did I select them wrong? Subtracts the second shape from the first shape. So I want to take that, and I want to Boolean it out.
Why are you bullying me like that, buddy?
I'm Booleaning it. So I have another copy of the text over the top of that. Because that now and I have to keep going back to the...
Everybody's favorite part where I try and put those spacers on.
This is the paid version. So I can come back. See, there's the text. And then there's the outline. But I want the outline, and I know I probably don't have it set right, but I want the outline to be a hard burn.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Let's see. I want that. See, and then it's all by color. Okay, so I don't want that to be a line. I want that to be a fill end line. So see there, I got my text right, because then I can turn on my other text and not do it as dark. You know, do just a single pass on it. But where I'm having trouble is I can't seem to get... Oh, in fact, that didn't do right. I haven't spent enough time with this software is really the biggest problem.
Okay, let's see if I can get these two started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here.
To fill. I was going to suggest I have a paid version. It would help if I can. So I thought I had this and this and this grouped.
I am grouped.
See, now I don't know if I selected that piece. So let's take that, that, and that, and then we're going to group those.
Did I tell you? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I guess I should group that too.
Did I tell everybody here that I spent like almost $1,000 Canadian to buy a Ghostbusters Proton pack?
Does it actually like get ghosts?
No, it makes sure that busting optimally feels good for you.
Oh, excellent.
It's this is Canadian, so it's like $80 US. You know, so put it in perspective. Not get carried away here. They're Hasbro or whatever I think it's called HasLabs or whatever. They do this thing. It's kind of like Kickstarter, except for like, I think their stuff is pretty much guaranteed to happen because they're a large company and they kind of just use it as like they do runs only for as many as they need type thing. So they were doing a run after the last movie came out. And I was like, well, I like me some Ghostbusters.
Yeah, see, that won't let me subtract that. Why won't that let me subtract that? These are no longer grouped. Or is it grouped? So why does the text get the marching ants, but when I select, oh, because I have multiple copies of that, I think.
Don't multiple copy that multiple floppy.
There, I got some marching ants. Except for that's not part of that anymore. It's fine. I'm going to group these. I think, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of this, Mitch said try Inkscape. Well, I got like,
You've hit every key, but there is no escape.
Adobe Illustrator. But I also have software that I use for making t-shirts that I could knock this out in like 30 seconds.
Prove it.
It's not on this machine. It's on the machine that's used for making t-shirts.
You have, you know, we'll be generous. Let's give him 5 minutes, and he's got to come back with a T-shirt with this logo on it.
Oh, well, no, not to make a t-shirt, but to knock out the design. It would take me way less to do my design on a t-shirt. It's already done.
Anybody ever tell you dance like a politician?
Tracks the second shape. All right, so I've selected the outline. Now I'm selecting the stuff inside, and it says that it can be a group, and it will not let me click the button.
Uh-oh. Incoming anger.
Mitch is like, I'm out. Forget it.
I ran the first version of WordPerfect this week.
Thanks for stopping by, Mitch.
He was actually planning to be here for the whole stream, but he just can't take Angry Glenn.
That's right.
Angry Glenn. He's such an angry guy.
And I hate that when you click on... Oh, it does. Never mind. Completely disregard that I was about to say something.
Were you about to say something?
So how can I... Oh, that's neat. If you right-click it, it flashes and shows you everything that's on that layer.
I wish I was allowed to swear on this stream. I really
Well,
do.
you do it anyway, but...
Just that once.
Yeah, but it was the worst of all the words.
So I'm putting the bed back together. I get everything lined up. I screw everything in. I'm tightening it down. I hear the sound of a screw dropping. I look back. I guess one of the spacers was misaligned, and when I thought I was locking it into position, it was actually sliding it out of the way so the screw... You know what I mean? Like, I was like, oh, there. I can see all the way down to the screw hole. Not for the right reasons. Whoa, it's tragic. It's okay. I can spend 3 times as much time putting this back in as it would be to take it apart and put it back together, just because I'm stubborn like that. Actually, no, I'm going to use my iFixit Pro toolkit. It has a set of those tweezers that you squeeze to separate them instead of squeeze to push them together. So this stream sponsored by literally nobody. We tried and nobody wanted to get in on it.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess we just
Suck.
Yeah.
Let's call a spade, shall we? We're apparently bad at streaming and just bad people in general.
We're just garbage.
Oh, hi. Thanks for checking in. I'm still a piece of garbage. Kayleen hates when I say that. She's like, stop saying you're a piece of garbage. I'm like, I will when I stop being such a piece of garbage. Checkmate, Kay.
Okay. I'm going to click this and duplicate it. And now I'm going to move that to this blue. Yes, I have a bazillion layers. Just let me be.
I just want to make sure that all the other ones are still where they're supposed to be.
Okay. And delete. Yes, delete that layer. Make that layer go away.
Okay. Well, I don't know. This bed feels like it's got more play in it than it should. But I don't remember how much play I had in before, so I guess we'll do a test print and then decide if everything's terrible and always will be, you know?
Yeah.
Everything is terrible.
Sergio's here. He says, hello, everyone. Driving home, so I can't chat much.
That's okay.
Well, thanks for being here, and please don't crash.
Saw a woman driving home today. She was in a Subaru, and she was, I'm pretty sure, on her phone. And here's the situation. She's not paying attention. She realizes that she's misjudged that she's coming up on stopped cars. So she swerves into the bike lane to give her that extra little bit of space and distance coverage to get herself stopped without hitting the car in front of her.
Brilliant.
Yeah, pretty understandable, right? That's what most people would do, as long as you've got enough time to make sure that the bike lane is clear and you're not hitting somebody in a bike, because you rear-ending somebody is probably going to end up a lot better than you hitting somebody in a vehicle that doesn't encompass their body in any way, shape, or form. And in this case, that worked out fine. We had eyes on her for 15 minutes, and this happened at least a dozen times, if not more. So I said to Kay, I'm like, I can understand that even really good drivers can get distracted at some point. Don't know what's going on, so I'm not going to say, oh, that person's a terrible driver. Until I see them make a mistake, correct for the mistake, and then continue to make the mistake and have to correct over and over and over again. Now you're just a bad driver. Like, you got your warning. You continue to
she
do
wasn't intoxicated?
I'm pretty sure she was just on her phone.
Yeah.
She was doing the head dip.
Yeah. Well, that could still be intoxication.
There's a situation. There's a guy posted a thing in one of the Reddits about the subreddits. I think it was Alberta, and he's got cameras in the front and the back of his vehicle. And he's like, I got rear-ended today. The guy refused to get out of his car because he said that there wasn't any damage that was done, even though he'd not gotten out and looked. The reality is he scuffed up my bumper a little. He did more damage to his vehicle because I was in a truck and I had a hitch. So he wouldn't get out of his car, and then he took off without giving me his insurance information. So he posted the video of the guy, and you can see him on his phone. He's like this, right? He's doing this.
Yeah.
Like one of these. And then rear ends him, and then he gets up. So he toss it in reverse, and then he's like flipping, like when the guy's like, "Get out of your car" and stuff, he's like flipping him off and like making all sorts of hand gestures and going like this, telling him to move and stuff. And I'm like, you're an idiot to hit and run in this day and age. And like, it wasn't even like it was some kid that got scared or whatever.
Well, yeah, because like, even if you don't have dash cams, there's cameras everywhere.
Yeah, if you've done something wrong at this point, assume it's on camera. So.
Yep.
Anyways, the guy went to the cops. He's like, "There's like not worth putting an insurance claim." They're like, "Yeah, but it's only a matter of time before this guy hits somebody because he's driving like a moron. He has to face some consequences. Otherwise, it's just a video for him to brag about." Wonder if I have a Benchy on here. I haven't printed a Benchy ever. Oh, speaking of which, that Benchy from last week, was I printing it during the stream? I don't remember.
No, you started a print.
Oh, right.
It wasn't a Benchy, and then you stopped it. You said, "Oh, it's sticking to the bed. It's good enough."
Yeah. So I ended up printing a Benchy on that. It's okay. You know, the Z seems to work, but the cooling is obviously quite good. There's no
little artifacting in there, but
I mean, I'm only supposed to be getting up and running, and I do not have the time to try and fix it because there are some. I'm not gonna say design flaws. There's some spots where the design is a little lacking. It could have been done.
Not only that, but like if you absolutely hold his hand and spoon feed him a perfect printer, then he's not going to learn anything.
Yeah, and he has learned quite a bit, and he's been quite good at fixing stuff. In this particular case, there's so many electronics problems.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a unique situation.
Now here's the kind of poopy situation. I start a print on it, and if it's heating the bed and the nozzle at the same time, and it hasn't yet engaged the fan on the power supply gets tripped and resets. But it resets so quickly, as long as you're feeding it USB power, it doesn't realize it still finishes heating, and then once the internals in the power supply are hot enough that the fan's running, it doesn't trigger a reset. But we might have to go bigger on the power supply, and it's got a 350 watt meanwhile power supply in it, but it is a 330 millimeter bed instead of the 300 in most CR10s and stuff. So
Uncle Ron said, "I have your FK head done. Haven't added the letters yet." Well, now I'm finding, if you see right now, I can actually subtract that out. I think it's the oval. I think the oval's got a break in it somewhere, and this particular image came from a vector graphic. So I might do a little cheaty peaty here.
Oh, so the other funny story is, I think I talked about this last week. Kate and I have been watching a show called Fresh Off the Boat. It is a pretty funny show, but the main actor in Fresh Off the Boat is the same guy that's the main actor in the new Quantum Leap.
Oh, really?
So we're going from a comedy series to a serious series, and we thought we were going to have a hard time with it, but he plays the character so dramatically differently, and his facial expressions, everything are so different that it almost seems like it's a different actor, which is a credit to the actor. He's not just, so many actors are just playing different versions of themselves.
Right.
So
Well, you figure that guy has to play a lot of people in Quantum Leap.
He sure does. And he's done a good job of it so far.
I would agree with that. Mainly this last one.
I don't think the print quality on this is going to be great because like it could just be me seeing things, but when I tightened it enough that the bed didn't wobble from side to side, the bearings were too tightly bound and it wouldn't move smoothly. So when I backed them off a little bit, there was wobble from side to side, and I think I see it doing this as it's moving side around. So we'll see how the test print turns out. But
is it dragon? No, maybe it's just a optical illusion.
An optical dilution.
Yeah, it's the I'm brain fried. The little line that it draws around it.
Oh yeah.
Like I could see that in between the pin to probe and the fan, and it looked like a piece of filament stuck in there. But skirt.
Boots with the skirt.
Don't know why I couldn't think of that word. All right, so this is going to be a 15. So that, all right. See, now I'm starting to learn. If you guys would just teach me. If you have two overlapping fills in the same color, it will give you the inverse at the overlap.
Oh, so it's going to leave like an unburnt area.
So like if the tongue and the mouth are the same color, it'll burn the mouth and not the tongue. Same layer, not color. Oh, I thought the color was the layer. I guess you can change the color of the layer. This is not fun. All right, let's try this again. So now I'm going to select the outline. Nope. Nope. That's too much. Perfect. That, and that. Okay, I got marching ants around all of those. I'm going to group those. Group. Now I'm going to choose this. And second selection, choose this. And now I can subtract it out. Oh, I still have to make other arrangements. Okay, so that now, which is a line, I'm going to change that to layer 0. Can you yes, you can. Put that up at the top. And that is going to be a fill. We'll work on how much it burns in a minute.
It burns, it burns.
It's burning so badly. Okay, so there, that is exactly what I was looking for as far as the outside. Shade according to power. Yes, that's what I want. Why wouldn't you have that turned on? The color is the layer. I'm just clarifying. Gotcha. Okay. All right. So now I don't have the face anymore. I should have copied that before I. All right. Let's undo that then, because I can do that. Edit, undo, edit. Undo.
I think for whatever replaces the Mark III, one of the things they should do to show how much more impressive it is to have a Benchy that prints twice as fast as the Benchy that was included on the Mark III.
Say that again.
I think one of the ways they should show how much more impressive whatever follows them, I guess they would be the Mark IV or whatever, but whatever follows the Mark III would be to have a Benchy on the card that comes with it that prints the same quality but twice as fast.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Remember there was a competition at
Oh, is
Is it
that
Murph
Earth?
or Irf? Yeah, for the 1 hour benchy.
Yep.
So the one that comes on here is just over 2 hours. There's 2 hours and 2 minutes remaining at 4%, although it is printed at 0.15 millimeter layer heights instead of 0.2. So I think most people print their benchies at 2. I just need this to get far enough that I can see what kind of quality hit I'm taking by what I see as being wobble in the bed, and to prove that there's something wrong, because I could be looking for something to be wrong. Oh, it says crash detected.
Well, that's not good. Duplicate. 11. Turn off 11. First item. Shift second item. Subtracted. That is now going to be layer 0. Chugga, 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 chugga. Okay.
It's right, because I didn't see anything that would have made me think that it crashed. Like I didn't hear a misstep or anything. Very weird.
Wonder if the bed bound up a little bit. Because you said those bushings were sloppy, right?
They are a little bit sloppy, yeah. But they don't seem to be much sloppier than the bearings that came on it. Yeah, because I mean, there's always a little bit of play, otherwise things wouldn't move.
Right, right.
I was actually expecting the bushings to be tighter though, because they're self-lubricating, so it's really hard for something that's self-lubricating to get itself stuck.
I guess in theory, yeah. Okay, so now let's hide that.
I'm gonna let this go for another like 4 minutes, knock out a few more layers, and then I'll stop it and take a look at it. But I'm pretty positive it's wiggling from side to side every time it changes direction. So I think I'll take it back apart and see if I can find the balance between it being tight enough that it doesn't do that and still able to move. Oh, crash detected again. I wish it told you which axis it detected the crash on.
Yeah, that would be helpful.
Because like I could be going, oh, the y-axis is the issue, because that's what I just worked on. But there could be an issue with the x-axis, or probably not the z, but maybe the z. I mean, there could be, because it stuck a little piece of plastic in there last time it was moving, and it's got z-hop on. So I have to get this thing ready because I need to have a print done for next weekend. That is the long print I was talking about.
Yeah. All right, so now if I take that and that and that and ungroup those, go group. Let's ungroup all of that. Okay, good, good, good. I'm going to make that go to layer 13. And I'm going to make that go to layer 16. Now that should have been 8. Let's undo that. Make that go to layer 8. I'm thinking you can all follow along here on what's going on. Now that should have been 4. It's going to be hard to see, but that's okay. 4. All right, so then just outline that? This can also be on layer 4. That should be a really light burn. Light burn.
I hate you.
I'll make this part a little dark. I'm dying. Make this part a little darker. All right, so let's turn back on the outline, which is going to be a fill. And then, oh, that's the face. That will be a line and fill. But is that going to burn the tongue?
I just tried to pry that off, but it's so warm that it's like the bottom's a little soft and it bent. So we'll just
No, you got to let it.
let it cool down. But I'm not gonna stop from. Gonna move the Z-axis up.
Hello, Brian.
If I'm lying, I'm Brian.
I am doing well. I'm sure James is doing well as well.
Nope.
In the well.
No well.
Except for that big swell.
I'll see if I can show off the
If
wobble.
your outline and face in same colors, the fills will alternate. So if I make, so this is this outline here being black, but I've already now cut this out. So like if I turn off, if I turn off everything but the outline, that's what my outline looks like right now.
Well, primarily you're turning off our viewers, but I know what that's like.
Yeah, well, that's just the way these streams go.
That's just the way it is. Doodle-dee, doodle-dee, doodle-doo.
Because I didn't turn it off. Here, you have to turn off 2 ticks to be able to see. Okay, so that right there is what it's going to burn right now. I'm actually kind of okay with that, except for I would like to have some burn in here. So then if I turn on my heart light and let it shine wherever I go.
This little light of mine.
If I make that be a fill.
Looks more like a Steven if you ask me, but.
Move that. Oh, move that up there. And then
Okay.
I'm going to turn on that.
I'm going to back off the zoom here a little bit, and maybe I'll show off here how much play there is. See that?
I'm curious.
You check to see how much play is on yours?
I'd say it's pretty equal. I mean, the thing is, though, is that play in the bearings or is that flex of the whole machine? Because
no, it's in the bearings. I can see the way it's shifting on them.
I mean, I can kind of move my bed that same way. I don't know. If you move that thing, like if you slide it back and forth manually, does it feel real smooth or does it feel like it's binding anywhere?
I was just about to actually give that a full-length test.
Sure, you are.
No, it seems like it's pretty smooth.
And did you have the belt off when you did that?
No.
Okay, so the belt tension is the same as it was.
Yeah. Actually, the bed might be a little too tight. Now that I'm comparing it to the x-axis.
So like when you're sliding it, it feels like it's chunky.
No, just the overall tightness of the sound it
the
makes when I
belt.
flick it. Yeah. I might try and tighten up these bearings just a little bit more. You know, I'm just gonna get in there and fiddle on it.
Yeah, do the right thing and just
Pretend I didn't see that.
turn this until it breaks.
I'm hoping I can zippity doodah into this little zippity A here. My oh my.
Dan, was this the face? Yeah, that's the face.
Well, then I saw her face, and now I'm a believer.
And I saw her face. All right,
She
so
looked like Justin Bieber.
That's going to be a 5,050, but I want that to do 2 passes. Then this guy, which is the crown, I want that to be a 5,050, but only 1 pass. Then I want this guy. I wonder if that should be, I think that should be fill and line. That should also be fill and line. And the face should be fill and line. So then that I'm going to pull that down to 45, but keep it at 50, just to give it just a little darker. And I really should, what I should have worked on today was printing the image that shows you how dark it, like you set it as a whole scale, and it like burns a bunch of different speeds and temperature, speeds and powers. And then you can figure it out for your material. Brian said, James, are the zip ties holding the rods loose?
No, not enough that the rods can be moved by hand. Maybe that one a little bit.
All right, so then this is the face and the text. It needs to be light, like the crown. So let's go 5,050 on that one. And then the face. All right, so Uncle Ron, the 2 eyeballs, the mouth and the tongue are all on the same layer. Are you telling me that it's going to fill the inside of the mouth and skip the tongue? I think this is an older version. Yeah, it's 0920. I haven't upgraded yet. Good. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's want that face to be a little darker. So let's do, I like the way that 5,050 worked out really good on last week's print. Sorry, last week's burn. But I'm going to do that as a 2 pass as well. And then all of these are just extra things that I don't think I need, but let's look at.
That seems quite a bit better.
That's the outline. That looks great. And we come in and we fill in the text and the face. And the crown, and then we burn the crown again. I don't know, something looks like it went wrong there.
It's
All right,
this
so
one, I
the
think.
crown. Crown is only one pass. I'm gonna figure this out. It's just, like. Why would you want to play this back at 1x speed? Like, phew.
Well, if you're looking for specifically, like, where did this detail go wrong?
Yeah, I guess. So it looks like it's what? Total time estimated 2 hours. Yeah, I'm definitely not doing this today.
Oh, I actually want to leave it unsupervised.
Oh, yeah. No.
So that seems to move pretty easy.
Sounds pretty smooth.
Looks good. Looks good. Maybe back this one up just a little bit. And what do I have that I can? Sorry. Wondering what I have that I can jam in here, because there's a little bit of a gap here between the rod. So if it had no place to go, it would probably be better. I don't have a cable tie that'll fit it right now, so I can't tighten down on it,
Yeah.
But I can take some paper towel and then just stuff it down in there. That's what Uncle Prusa recommends.
Uncle Bruce. Yeah, I really didn't think that I was going to spend the whole stream just trying to lay all of this out, but
you did.
this is how I learn.
And learning is half the battle or something? I don't know.
Yeah, I'd rather be playing Red Dead.
You're not coming to next week's stream, are you?
Yeah, I made it to this one.
That's fair.
So Xander convinced one of his friends to get it last night, and he downloaded it and joined us today for the first time. And so now there's 3 of us in the posse, and it's been quite a lot of fun.
I refuse to believe that Xander has a friend.
Oh, he's got a few of them. So we have a rule, and again, I don't know how many of you guys have played RDO, Red Dead Online, but we have a rule that as a posse we don't start trouble.
But you finish it.
If somebody else starts trouble, then absolutely. And
you better check yourself before we wreck yourself.
And Xander and I are pretty good together. Like we can clean house, and now that we've added a third party, yeah, right there, something. Oh, my mouse died.
Oh no.
Right there. So it runs up the crown. Everything's going fine. And then what? What is that? And maybe it's just the way this is drawing it, but I guess that's the second burn on the crown.
Could be.
No, I only set the crown to burn 1 time. Why did it do it twice?
Because the second time's with feeling.
The crown is separate.
Did you put 2 layers that both have the crown in it? Did I just put my... Apparently I'm a moron. I got distracted just by chatting with you, and I started putting all my tools away. I don't know if you can tell, but the printer is in fact not back together in one piece.
Oh, I thought you were just done. You're like, that's it, I'm out.
Can't even use the words I want to describe how I feel right now.
You were so sidetracked by the amazing Red Dead gameplay that and I couldn't stream that anyway. The amount of language in that game, like, I mean, it's Rockstar, but it's stupidly over the top. Like, it's so gratuitous and not necessary, but
what if we set up a Fun King After Dark channel, and that we can say all the words we want to say?
Yeah, we could do it. We could do some type of a gaming channel. I know the majority of our audience is waiting to hear something like that come out of my mouth.
Because
But
they're like
it
they're
would,
definitely missing our Minecraft streams, you know.
it would just it would just be coming out of the game, out of the AI.
I would augment. You play Red Dead Redemption, I'll fix printers that don't deserve to be fixed.
Well, I will admit to screaming at some of these stupid kids that think they're so amazing. And I can
How
call them
old-
kids because almost everybody playing is younger than I am.
That's just you going, hey, how old are you, kid? I could be your dad.
Well, and then the amount of people who use mods in that and think that they're just amazing because they can use somebody else's scripts. It's like, you're a script kiddie. Shut up.
Script kitty. Who says that?
Oh. We old coders, I guess. I was a hacker before being a hacker was cool.
I was writing Turing code while your great grandfather was still in diapers. I was assembling before the Avengers. So give me the respect I deserve.
Yeah, right here. I don't understand. What is this? Unless that first time coming in, maybe that's doing the outline. That might be what it is. It's doing the outline, and then that's the fill of the crown. And that's the fill on the... Let's turn this off. All right, so there's my outline.
I'm gonna print another benchy. Whoa. Can't wait for it to all go wrong.
There, it's filling my crown. There, it's filling the lower part of the crown.
This all
There,
sounds so
it's doing
inappropriate.
the text. And it's doing the whole entire face. So it's not doing the face. So what I need,
I feel the need.
duplicate.
Did we ever talk about the new Top Gun?
I don't think we did. Has it been out long enough now that we can give it away?
I mean, it's on streaming and stuff at this point, so you've seen it, I'm assuming?
Yes.
I will go as far as to say, granted I was quite young when the first one came out, so it may not have the same historical movie feel for me. I enjoyed it more than the first one.
It's been a long time since I watched the first one, and I almost watched it again before I watched the new one, but then I decided I didn't want to do that. I think that overall it was a good movie, but I also think it was very predictable. Like, you knew that, like, he was going to be the guy that came in and saved the day. You know?
At the end, you mean?
Well, just overall, like, he was going to be the hero.
Sorry, are you talking about Tom Cruise or the other guy?
Tom Cruise, not the other guy's kid. I mean, I realize that
not the other guy's kid either. There's another hero at the very end of the movie that I didn't quite see coming, to be honest, until right before it happened. There's a part where they're all out of tricks.
Maybe I have to go back and watch it again.
But it's not, the opening is almost a shot-for-shot recreation of the opening, like the title credits. I mean,
right.
Like I'm watching, I'm like, did I start the wrong movie? Right, like it's the same music and I'm like, damn, these guys love thumbs upping each other. Like, and like it gets to the point now where it's at one point where it's literally just planes taking off and then close-ups of hands giving thumbs up. But they did recreate a lot of elements from the first movie in this movie. I mean, I think the final thing they bring in from the original movie that they also put in this one, if that's vague enough, because we don't need to ruin it for anybody.
Yeah, well, Mark says he hasn't watched it yet, so
okay. You know what? We'll stop. Mark, your homework assignment for next week.
Between
Stop
between
being
now
such a
and next
lame-o.
week, watch every movie that we've ever seen so that we can talk about them.
Staying out, playing with the boys. Okay.
Yeah, you got to remember, like when I was growing up, when I was an adult, but too big of a loser to go out to clubs and meet girls. All I ever did was go to the movies.
I saw a lot of movies growing up too. Kay and I watched Hocus Pocus and Hocus Pocus 2.
So
this
Priscilla
weekend.
got to watch Hocus Pocus 2 at a friend's house on Friday, but I didn't watch it. I can't tell you if I ever actually watched the first one.
I knew that I had,
I can't recall.
but I didn't remember any of it when we rewatched it. That being said, they're both decent enough movies,
Yeah.
The new one starts with a flashback showing the three witches when they were young girls, and the actress that they got to play Meryl Streep's character does such a good Meryl Streep impersonation that I thought that she acted better than lots of adult actors and actresses at this point, because it didn't feel like she was doing an impersonation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it was that well done.
Nope. Got a problem with my eyeball.
My ball.
Got a problem with both eyeballs.
I finally got my trackball mouse.
Oh, all right. Join in the trackball club.
For streaming and stuff like this, I haven't tried modeling yet with it, but for streaming and stuff like this, it's such a better thing because you don't have to try and keep an area of your desk specific, like around it clean. It's literally just the size of the thing, so it can be anywhere.
Well, and I like it, like, if I have my laptop and I'm laying in bed, I can just lay it on the bed and use it. I don't have to have space. The one that I have, this is the old used to be cool, and now they're cheapy. I think these are about $35. But I have the Ergo one upstairs, and it has a little button next to the ball that puts it into like super precision mode. So when you're doing modeling with it and you need to move stuff just a little tiny bit, it's pretty handy. So apparently my eyeballs are not.
You better be careful. It's entirely possible that Apple's trademarked eyeballs by now.
I think my eyeballs are not closed. I think my
With eyes wide open.
I think my eyes are wide open.
Eyes wide shut. Okay, well, we can print 38 minutes of this benchy, so we'll see if
the interface in this is it's actually pretty decent.
How decent is it?
It's so decent
that it's indecent.
I think that's close. That's close enough.
I'll give a better view because I know everybody is so interested in seeing yet another benchy print. Maybe I can zoom. No, I haven't installed the CSI mod, so I can zoom, but I can't enhance.
Enhance. One of the YouTubers I watch, South Main Auto. He's a auto repair guy out of upstate New York.
I thought he was out of South Main.
What's that?
I thought he was out of South Main.
Well, he's on South Main.
Oh.
He's on South Main, the street, but he's out of upstate New York. But he'll, like, when he goes, let me see if I can zoom in for you. And then he's like zooming the camera, and he always goes, enhance. All right, so now I got new eyeballs.
I haven't watched any of it now, but there's apparently a new CSI series called CSI Vegas, which is just a continuation of the original CSI.
Oh, really?
And they're in their second season already, so go figure. I just remember watching, going, "Who are you? Who? You who?"
No, nothing will ever beat CSI Miami and Horatio's,
The sunglasses.
his one-liners. Well, I guess you could say he's gator bait.
I won't get fooled again. Was that no? Wait, is Miami won't get fooled again the theme song?
I can't remember now.
There is one of the CSI shows where they're talking about trying to track this guy, and the girl's like, "I can make a VB GUI app that'll be able to track his IP address." And I'm like, "Oh yeah." Let me just spit out my favorite VB IDE.
I absolutely cannot. I absolutely cannot watch like computer hacker type movies and any of that kind of stuff. It just makes me want to punch myself in the face how fake it is. As much budget as these people have to make these movies, and they can't hire a consultant,
there was one where the guy's like, "Yeah, he got his computers back, but I got his hard drive," and he does this. I got his hard drive. I'm like, good luck with the data recovery on that one. I hear it's got a lot of watts.
Well, that's like that image that's always floating around on the internet of the woman soldering, and she's probing the computer and she's holding a soldering iron like this.
Yeah,
it's like on the shaft. It's like, yep, you'd know if that was on.
Maybe she's just really dedicated. I'm not going to comment on what you just said, but that's okay.
Uncle Ron said, if you have to move a little in Lightburn, hold the control while moving. Oh, okay.
If I ever meet you, I'll Control-Alt-Delete you.
All right, so let's see now.
I said, hey.
What happens? Let's put that over onto 4.
Getting some vibration sound in the... I can't tell which axis it is right now. It's just when it moves both of them. Oh, I guess it's a combination of the two. When it moves diagonally, it goes... That was a pretty good verbal recreation of the actual sound. Oh
God, that looks terrible. He looks like he's in blackface, but
that's not fun, King. Do you think this company would send me over one of those laser engravers for a review?
Possibly. I don't know. I kind of burned the bridge with them because it took me so long to make the video. I'll send you their information, though.
I'll pretend I don't know you.
That would probably be best at this point. I feel bad. Like, I don't ever try to burn people that, no pun intended, it's a laser. But, like, I always, anytime that there's any type of, business agreement, I always try to make sure that I'm doing more for them than they think I should be. But
I've only, I think, emailed one company once to get something for review. They didn't respond.
Yeah.
It was somewhat recent, and it was like, I would love to do a video comparing these two things, but I'm not going to shell out $400 or $500 for the thing. But I can see the value on it if I were to do the side-by-side comparisons. And they just didn't reply. And then actually shortly thereafter, a YouTuber with 900 subscribers popped up doing a review of it, that they had sent him one for free to do the review. And I was like, oh, okay. Guess you just don't like fat white guys.
Well, I got to tell you, and I probably shouldn't admit this, but I get now probably once a week somebody not offering me, but asking me if I'd be interested in an XYZ for review. And for the most part, I tell them yes, and then I send them my terms. And my terms are that they have to agree that it can be 100% 100% honest review.
Yep.
And that I will give them the opportunity to bow out. Like, if I contact them and I say, listen, this thing is a pile of trash and I can't support it, they can be like, okay, don't post the video. I'm fine with that. And then I would come on here and tell you guys what not to buy. That it has to be 100% free, no duties, no taxes, no nothing, and that it's mine to keep afterwards. And if not, then they have to arrange for it to be shipped back. Like, I don't want to deal with any of that. Like, nothing. I'll put it in a box. They send me a label. That's it. But and then like 9 times out of 10, I don't hear back.
Yeah.
I don't know if they bulk send those out and then
the first 20 people that reply get one or whatever.
Yeah, or they just pick and choose. Then like they send it to me and then they look and say, oh, this YouTube channel said they want one and they're bigger than this guy.
I had one company reach out to me and it was regarding the Pico videos I do, which are the most popular videos on my channel. Hey, I had my first video get over 100,000 views a few weeks ago.
Oh, congratulations!
Never thought I'd get that far.
That's awesome. That's a huge achievement.
So I had one of them reach out and they're like, hey, we're putting out this new product or whatever, and crash detected again. I don't know where the crash is coming from. This is the concerning part. Anyways, they reach out and they're like, we've got this thing. We're going to be selling it pretty soon. We're going to be doing a Kickstarter for it. And we'd like to get you on board with one. And, we've got one reserved for you if you want to get into it. I'm like, yeah, sure. I'd like that. So they're like, okay, we're going to send you out our welcoming package. Cool. And then basically what they said was, like, we're looking to see out of the people we send the welcome message, the welcomes to, how many people, like we're looking for the people who are going to be the most active with the welcome packages, like sending out tweets and stuff on social media and everything else. And I was like, no, I'm not promoting a product that I know nothing about and haven't had hands-on time with. I didn't respond.
Oh, they wanted you to promote it beforehand?
Yeah, they sent me a 3D print of the item itself, like an SLA resin print of it, so I could start like designing stuff around the shape. But they wanted me to start promoting it based on the welcome package.
Wow.
And talking about how excited I was for it. And I was like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
No, my favorite though was I got one that Mitch said disable crash detection.
It did layer shift though, so I think it actually did crash.
Glenn, where in upstate New York is he based? I don't know, Brian. Again, his channel is South Main Auto. I might.
It did layer shift, but unfortunately the benchy that they include prints on the diagonal. So a layer shift in the X or the Y would cause it to shift out the same way, I think.
He is located in Avoca, 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 New York.
Oh no, I'd say that's the X.
14809. What's that? It's the X that's crashing?
I think the X-axis is the one that had the layer shift on it.
Weird.
Oh, I'm so disappointed with that because it's such a pain to work on that axis. And I need this fixed in 28 minutes for me to be able to get a video out this week, because otherwise I'm going to have to spend my recording time on Tuesday fixing this so I can... my time is not as unlimited as it once was.
Now, this preview is shade according to power, but not necessarily based on pass count either. So we could have a successful image here. And I am absolutely willing to waste that plywood, even though plywood right now is $5 million a square inch, to test this, but not this week. So next week, I'll be out here at least a half hour before the stream, and I will start it, because it says, let's look at that again. It says burn time is 1 hour and 56 minutes. So I will come out a little bit before the stream. That way it's done before the end of the stream, because those estimates are never accurate. So yeah, that's what I'm going with.
Just
Maybe I'll
cleaning.
get my software updated by next week.
Figure I'd start off by giving the rods a clean and a relubrication.
Clean and lubricated rods are very important.
And then, since I really don't have time to actually tear down the x-axis, we'll do another test print on it. I'll disable crash detection. There's always the chance too that crash detection and then the rehoming is what actually caused a little bit of the shift, right? I think that it's a product of what happened, but it was continuing to print in that wrong position. So
yeah. Let's I guess bearings and crash.
that's not the first time I've been told to disable crash detection on the Prusa, though.
Oh gosh, I googled IGUS bearing crash causing crash detection, and like the first 10 results that come up are talking about Prusa printers. I mean, I guess maybe not every printer has crash protection or crash detection.
Well, let's see what happens. We got what, 24 minutes left. My biggest disappointment so far has been the fact that the mini magnetic sheet slid so easily on that printer.
That's really weird. Have you reached out to support on that?
No, because it doesn't seem like it's a defect in the print. I think it's literally
I would definitely reach out to support, specifically one guy, and just
I don't like bugging him though. I barely
tell him no. Reach out to him through the legitimate channels and tell him that all the magnetism has fallen out of your magnets, and your head's not sticking. That's what he gets for not watching our streams anymore. He used to hang out with us. Jerk. Oh,
I forgot to take off the primer strip.
Brian said, I'd just say get a new printer for as long as it's been down, James. Yeah, money doesn't grow on trees.
That is the thing. We are I could not afford a new printer if I needed one. Like if this one died, it would be a while before I could that's not me asking for donations. I don't want anybody to be like, oh well, here's
just go ahead and do super chats right now, and I'll get the money and wave it in front of James because he doesn't get any. Just know that anytime that you've ever donated money to the channel for James, I just buy a chocolate milkshake and film myself drinking it, and then I send it to James.
And he does it specifically to that song, My Milkshake Brings All the Boys to the Yard.
Oh.
I've got that summertime sadness. I have now turned off crash detection, so
all right, I'll see what
take
happens.
that, you bunch of bandicoots.
Brian said, why not start an hour before the stream? That way, if you have hiccups, you can catch them. Well, because then I got to be out here an hour before, and then that's less Red Dead time. You're lucky I come on a half hour before.
We all do our best with the time that we've got.
Yeah, well, and I'll tell you what, I know I've been playing video games, but I'm still editing that video. I've got it now down to, I think, right around 3 hours. I mean, nobody's going to watch it for 3 hours. So, but oh my gosh, there's just, so it taught me a lot. I have to come up with a better way. I have to come up with a better way to kind of keep track of what I'm doing. I almost like every time I move the camera, I'm going to do like a monologue for myself so that I can say, all right, in that last cut, blah, blah, blah. Because I can't not film the whole thing, because sometimes I say really interesting or funny things without thinking about it. And then I don't want all that stuff to get cut out. You know what I mean? Or something may happen. I still am completely upset with myself that I was not filming the night that I pulled the transmission out from underneath the Dodge and that board broke and I flew back and I hit the oil pan and the oil pan flew up and there was transmission fluid everywhere. I was mad when it happened, but I'm more mad that I didn't have it on video, because it had to have looked hysterical. But so it's like I have to film everything, but then weeding back through 8+ hours of video footage to find stuff that's actually worth watching. I mean, nobody wants to actually watch in real time of you taking an alternator out of a car. And it took probably 2.5 hours to get the alternator out. Now, I don't work fast. I don't have to. Like, I'm not on a deadline. You know, unless it's the fictitious made up deadlines, like, oh my God, I got to hurry up. I think the only deadline I've had in all my projects so far was my mom's car, because she was coming back to pick it up and the parts hadn't even arrived yet. So, but that was really on her, because she wasn't supposed to be coming to get it until like Saturday. And she's like, well, can I pick it up on Wednesday? And I'm like, no, no wheels on it.
You can try. Oh, I made you a hover car, Mom.
Yeah, well, luckily, like I took a chance and took everything off. I took a chance that the parts would arrive on time, and they actually did. Because usually when I need something, that's when it is late or gets redirected, or, but yeah. So, but I definitely have to. I almost have to, like, each time I move the camera or I move to a different position or I move to a different, I almost need to shoot a little video in between saying, okay, so that part, like, absolutely nothing happened. You can time lapse or cut that whole thing. You know, like, I need to talk my way through it, because sometimes I shoot those videos and then I don't edit them for edit them for like a couple of weeks. And I don't necessarily remember I mean, it's like a surprise when I get to watch it. So
that's the best way to be, because then you can enjoy your own content. And if you enjoy your own content, you know that you should be a big time superstar.
But I am my biggest fan. I mean, I think I'm hysterical, but yeah. I don't know, but yeah. I mean, every time something like this happens, you know, anytime that I hit a roadblock like this, and I will admit, it is causing me a lot of grief. Like, I don't want to edit it. I've been editing this video. I've got probably 50 hours into editing this video. Okay, that's probably not true. It feels like it though. And it's like, it's become tedious. But I've figured out that I can take large blocks, because I'm still learning the editing software too, but I can take large blocks of stuff, nest them, and then turn it into a time lapse, even though it wasn't filmed that way. I can make it into a time lapse, and I can still clip it down. Because if you turn it into a time lapse at, say, 2000%, and you're watching it and it still feels like it's dragging, you got to cut stuff out of there. I mean, there's a lot of times when I'm working on stuff and I have to go to the toolbox and get a tool, or I have to go upstairs to get a tool. I leave the camera running that whole time. I don't shut it off.
So yes. Brian's asking, weren't you supposed to get a camera guy?
I had a camera guy, but he doesn't live here anymore.
You had talked about
yeah, it has
Zach.
Well,
is it going to be Zach or Xander slinging camera?
Well, Xander said that he would sling camera for me. I think he's more interested in slinging camera at events, not so much here.
Gotcha.
because he doesn't want to hang out in the garage. It's hot, and maybe not for much longer, but it's hot. No, I have a friend that's coming on board. It just hasn't happened yet. I mean, he's a busy guy too, so I mean, I can't.
You're like, and he lives in Canada, and I haven't told him yet.
So, but no, like that. But again, that's not going to be a all day everyday thing either. I mean, you guys got to remember, I work my day job from 7:30 to 3, and then at 3:01 I'm in the garage, or playing Red Dead. But no, then I'm in the garage like from 3 to at least dinner time, so 3 to 6, and a lot of times I go back out after dinner, until about 8:30. I can't expect, and that's every day. Saturdays I'm out there the whole day. Sundays, between the time I get home from church, and the time that I have to get ready for stream, I'm out there unless I'm editing. So I can't expect somebody else to also be out there that much. So, but we're gonna get around. It's gonna happen. The channel's gonna take off. And I'm going to be huge, and I'm going to be like, what am I going to do with all this money I'm making? And then I'm going to hire somebody to do the camera and to do the editing. I don't want to do the editing anymore. It's not that I don't enjoy it. I can't afford the time. I literally spend, on an average video, I spend probably 16 to 24 hours worth of editing and picking music and blah 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 blah. And
music always takes me longer than I'm expecting to.
Yeah, well, and I've got kind of a rhythm, no pun intended, for that as well, because when I have a section that I need, I use Audio Hero. Audio Hero is amazing, and you get it for free with TubeBuddy. But
should I switch to TubeBuddy from vidIQ?
I don't know what vidIQ is.
I think they do the same thing.
Oh, well, TubeBuddy gives you a bunch of tools and stuff that you can use that just makes being a YouTuber quicker. Like, you can create multiple templates. Like, so on this channel, back when I used to make videos, like I had a template for the Maker Box, and I had a template for Xander's Thing Thursday, and I had a template. So it wasn't the same description. It was the same description based on what the subject was, and then you make your specific little changes. But TubeBuddy also allows me, like with my Fummins videos, I can say, copy everything from a different video, and then you can choose the video, and it, like, all of your settings, like, was it made for a kid, like all of that stuff copies over, and then you make your changes, just why once in a while these streams will have the wrong number in the title. It's fine. But so what I do with Audio Hero then is if I know that I have, say, a 7-minute span that I want music in, or 7, that's a terrible, because 7 is hard. So let's say a 4-minute spot.
Yeah, 7 minutes, you're generally delving into 2 songs.
Well, I mean, even so, well, again, Premiere, you can now remix the audio. Like if the song is 3 minutes, but you need it to be 4 minutes, you can just tell it to remix, and it'll clip itself, and it's almost perfect every time. Like the clipping is so unnoticeable that if you're not looking for it, you won't know it's there.
Even if there's singing in the song?
I don't know if I've done any with vocals.
I was thinking that's probably not something you do, because like for my videos, I almost never, I don't think I've ever actually had a song in it where the vocals are present, or like I don't know, I can't say I've never picked one that doesn't have vocals.
Yeah, most of the royalty free stuff.
That's not true. Do you remember I did a Supernatural style video for that knife I printed, and I included part of "Carry On My Wayward Son"? You're like, how did you get away with that? I'm like, I kept it very just short enough that I think I'm flying under the radar.
Yeah.
And I never got stung for it.
Yeah. But but anyway, what I do, so in that 4 minutes, I will play, like I'll search the music for anything around that time frame. So say I was looking for exactly 4 minutes, I'd go 350 to 415.
Yep.
Or even 430, because a lot of times there's dead space on the end.
Yeah.
And I'll kind of go through, and then when I hear something, I'm like, I kind of like that. Then I will play the video in Premiere and play the audio in Audio Hero, and I will watch the time lapse or whatever it is and see if the music goes along with it.
The other thing I do in addition to that is if I'm editing something and I like the song, I also drop it into a folder for future reference, because I don't mind reusing songs from video to video. Like I'm trying to make sure it's not the same one over and over again.
Right. Or the same one back to back, right?
Yeah. But I've got a collection of like 20 or 30 core ones that give me an overall like similar feel. So my videos have a vibe to them.
Yeah.
The other thing I was doing for this is a bit of a catch. So there's a subreddit called Small YouTube Channels or Small YT Channels or something like that. And they have a system where you review other YouTubers' videos, you comment on what you've seen, what you think they could do better on, all that type of stuff, that type of stuff.
Oh, that's a great way to want to commit suicide.
But for every 3 that you have to review, you have to submit information to 3 of them to get one review done on one of your videos. Okay. So it's not, you don't just have people dumping links and being like, watch my video, and like using it as a cheap way to get views. So I would watch videos, and like if I clicked on a video, it was like 16 minutes, I'd be like, don't have time for that. But like 5 to 10 minutes, fine. I'll sit down. I didn't like this about the thumbnail, or like this is the reason why I wouldn't click on it, or that your audio, whatever. But the snag is, I've seen so many times, and like I've now gotten out of getting involved in it. People only watch the first like 30 seconds, and then they leave a comment and they move on so that they can get their, it's called Lambda, is like the support thing. Yeah. And like you have to give it. So if somebody leaves you a thing saying like, hey, good job, if you like, you have to actually respond with a exclamation point, give Lambda for that person to get credit for the review they gave you. So you can't just get people leaving random comments to pick up whatever. But my last video, I was like, you know what? I'd like to, I'm looking at rose-colored glasses. I think it's my best video yet, but maybe it's not. And I tossed it up there. And for the first 30 seconds in that video, I don't have music. It's just me talking about the project and stuff. And the comment was, you need more confidence. And in this type of video, you should really include music. And I'm like, yeah, there's three different songs in the video. In the first 30 seconds, I'm like, and in terms of confidence, I'm like, I think I like, and maybe I'm wrong. People that have watched my videos, do I come off as being non-confident? It's the first time I've ever gotten that feedback.
Yeah, I was gonna say not to me, so I don't.
Like, generally speaking, like, correct me if I'm wrong, because again, rose-colored glasses. I think I generally look pretty comfortable in front of the camera.
No, this was your robot video you're talking about? Yes. Yeah, well, and like, I mean, you built that thing from scratch. You couldn't be any more confident in the project. Like, yeah. Like, yeah. It's not like you kind of had an idea and you built it off of, like, you made that.
I birthed that project.
Yeah. So I don't know, but it's funny that you say that. It kind of made me chuckle, because another one of the channels that I watch, he's a fabricator. He does mainly plasma CNC work. But every once in a while they do a like a podcast type stream where they read mean comments, which that always cracks me up, because I'm very thick-skinned. Like, you can't hurt my feelings. You just can't. And
you're hey, you're a poopy head.
Hey, come on, easy. Saying stuff like that to me.
You big poopy head.
But so somebody had commented on one of his videos and said, you guys need to quit putting music in your videos. You're not Hollywood. And I thought, God, I wouldn't want to watch a long video that doesn't have any music in it. Or like all of a sudden you get to how many times have you watched a video and it gets to a time lapse and they left the original audio in there? So and you're like, this is awful. Oh, hey, Mike.
Mike is here. Hey, guys. Mike, I responded to your message on Twitter. Just giving you a heads up. I probably could send an email. I'd sent a response back about your question and then how you wanted to continue the contact stuff. So let me know if you'd rather me email you.
Actually, he just sent you a picture of himself flipping you the bird. It is only 86 degrees outside today. That is fantastic. Oh, that was actually at 3:30.
It's even colder than that now. I started draining our pool today because you have to, like, it's an above ground, so we have to drain it pretty low to the bottom for the winter because it'll freeze and all that.
Right.
But we replaced, so it's got a spigot that screws into the bottom and it pushes out this plunger on the inside, and it gives you an attachment for a garden hose. So you put your garden hose onto it and then you screw that in and it pushes out the plunger on the inside and it can drain right from the bottom. Except for the problem is we replaced our garden hose this year with one of those ones that self-drains and closes up, and there's just enough water pressure with that water on there that it's keeping a bit of flow going through it. And like, so I've got it going into a I don't know what it would be. It's some sort of like flexi PVC pipe or whatever to get it all the way to the end of the road so it'll go down into the drain. But I'm like, my biggest concern now is that pressure is going to decrease as the amount of water decreases, and at some point it's just going to pull out and then flood the backyard. But the water movement through it is so slow that it's been draining for 6 hours, and the water, there was like a discernible level of where the water was before it started draining, and you can't tell. So I'm like, I said to Kay, like, it's so slow and it's going to get slower. I'm tempted to just toss it in the backyard and let nature take its course.
Yeah.
So if you want it drained in a hurry, I've got that fancy new knife that Sean sent me. I can just down the side.
Well, I mean, you could go get a cheapy garden hose just for that. Just like a regular cheapy rubber garden hose.
I started looking. The cheapest one I could find that would make it to the road was like $40 or $50, and I'm like,
oh, well, Harbor Freight right down the street from me. Come on down. We'll go to the Harbor Freight.
We are on a bit of a pause for extra spending right now because of
the bathroom.
Yeah, we had a net increase in spending and a net decrease in income for a little bit. So yeah, coupled with additional gas and stuff now, as I was telling you before.
Yeah, well, that sounds like every day around here. The net increase in spending.
Every day I'm hemorrhaging.
Oh my God! So gasoline is down to like $3 a gallon. It's fantastic. Diesel is still at $5.50, punch you in the face. Like,
sucks to suck, as they say.
I just don't get it. Diesel is a byproduct of gasoline. Huh? Nope. It's just not right.
Next year I will definitely. Well, so Kay and I have been talking about it because she's like we were in the pool a fair amount, but she's like, is it worth giving up literally half of our backyard to have the pool there? She's like, I'm almost tempted to just run the hot tub at like 85 degrees during the summer so we have a place to cool off, and then get some of our yard back. So we haven't decided, and the pool it's maybe got a year left in it. Like, we're gonna have to give it a real good inspection next year to make sure that the liner's doing okay before we fill it with water. Otherwise we might upset our neighbors. But yeah, so next year, if we still have the pool, I will purchase a pump and we'll speed run draining it.
Yeah.
But
and I suppose the regular pump that's on there picks up too high.
That is the issue. Yeah, we could probably drop it like a foot before. And the other thing is that it'll start to siphon air once it gets too far down. I had thought about getting into it and adding a hose extension, like getting it down near the bottom, but you also need a strainer on it to filter out the big stuff because the pump can't handle it.
Right.
So you don't want hair and stuff going through it either. So we go through phases where it's like, maybe we don't need a pool anymore to, oh my God, we should get a new pool next year and do cooler things with it.
No, my wife absolutely wants a pool, but the cost, like a regular in-ground pool, but the cost of having a pool put in has increased over the last 5 years. It has more than tripled.
It's astronomical with a capital ass.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So,
which of course means donkey.
Speaking of my wife, she was at an event yesterday with Zach. Zach's school was doing a fundraiser, car wash, and they were in a public place. They were at this cafe, um, and she was inside the cafe, and she went to come out to see if the kids needed water or anything, and tripped over a unlevel sidewalk and took a pretty nasty tumble. Cut up one side of one hand and the palm of her other hand, and landed, like, she went down right side, I think it was, real hard, boom, on the ground. So, of course, the first thing that I asked her was, "Did anybody get it on video?" Because
So Glenn sleeping on the bus.
people falling down is funny to me, but no. So she's super sore today. She's having a hard time moving around, and so maybe the cafe will buy us a new pool. Who knows?
When Kay and I started at this gym, and it's a class led gym. It wasn't like an equipment based gym. One of the things they did every year is they did a gym family Christmas dinner, and it was a potluck. I hadn't joined the gym at this point, but Kay was like, "Look, I want you to come. We're allowed to bring a spouse to the thing. I want you to meet the person that owns the gym and the main trainer and stuff like that. I think you'd be comfortable giving this a try." So I begrudgingly agree to go because I'm not a fan of exercise. You wouldn't know that from my stout and muscular frame, but
No, I thought you were starting a fitness YouTube channel.
yeah, I was. It's called "Fitting This in My Mouth" is what the channel's called. So we get there, and it's early December, and we've just gotten a rainstorm that turned to snow. And I step out into the parking lot, and I don't get both feet on the ground before I slip and fall, and I bashed my head hard.
Oh,
and I think I was out for a couple.
I remember that happening.
Me telling you about it?
Maybe. Well, yeah, I wasn't there, but
well, maybe you're hiding. But so I may have also told this story before too. But for anybody that hasn't been around, so I think I was out for a couple of seconds because there's some stuff. By the time, so I rolled over on my side and I could see. Hold on, I'm screwing up the content. So as I'm getting out, there's a woman standing at this. The gym is here, and there's a bank over here, and there's a woman heading into the bank. And as I slipped, I could see her turn to me, and I hit the ground. And so by the time I sort of like regain my bearings, Kay's already come around. She's like, "Oh my God, are you all right? Are you all right?" And I look over, and the woman who definitely saw me fall is in the bank. Did not bother to say, "Hey, are you okay?" or anything like that. Just like went about her day. So I'm pretty sure I was a little concussed. I didn't go to the hospital, but based on the way the rest of the night went, how much I remember of it, and the overall weird, I had some weird things happening. Pretty sure concussed after the fact. So here's a place I don't want to be. I'm not excited about going to begin with. And I'm walking in, my hair's all messed up and the back of my head's probably bruised. I had a heck of a swelling on the top of my head there. Okay. So anyways, we ended up joining the gym. We were there for a couple of years. The business unfortunately didn't last, but the head guy is like, "I didn't think we'd ever see you again after listening to your story about," but I kept saying, "Okay, I'm fine." And we go to drive home, and I go around a roundabout, and I floored it coming off the roundabout for absolutely no reason. Couldn't tell you why I did. In case, like, "Can you please pull over and let me drive home?"
Wow.
Like, I don't know what I was doing. Like, came off the roundabout, taking a right to get onto the street, and I'm like, "Wah!"
Now let me ask you: Did you trip and fall on your way into work one time?
Oh yes.
Okay, that's the story I was thinking of.
Yeah, I was walking and texting, and I stepped in a divot in the on the side of the sidewalk and rolled my ankle. And a bus was coming down the street, and he stopped to see if I was all right, and I could just see everybody looking out at me from the window. And I had to stand up, and I can I'm bleeding under. I was the dress pants I was wearing were a little like stretchy in the fabric, so they didn't tear, but I could feel in my knee that I was bleeding. Like I could just tell that it was rashed or thrashed rather. And I can feel the swelling in my ankle. And I'm like, I'm going to be able to finish walking to work and not be able to get back to the car, or I can turn around and go back to the car. So I turned around, went back to the car and went home, called my house. I'm like, I can't come in today. I can't walk. Kay gets home. She's like, "How bad is it?" I take the pant off, and there's like blood and stuff running down my leg because I couldn't do anything about it until I got home, and it's a 20-minute drive.
Yeah.
And she was working at the port at the time, so she like
that's the story that I was thinking of, because you were telling that story about slipping on the ice, and then I was thinking I thought that was to work. So
there wasn't even ice. It was just me texting, and there's a dip.
It's because you got a BlackBerry.
No, actually, it might have been a BlackBerry at that time. Kay's mom is now using that phone because they've kept the security updates and stuff up on it. So
yeah,
it's an Android phone with a keyboard.
I get you. I understand.
I would buy a new phone right now if they had a decently, well, not right now. My next phone would be one with a keyboard if they had one where the performance was good and it also had like a slide out keyboard.
Yeah. Well, I am thoroughly enjoying my new Note 20, I think it is. Even though it was used, it's new to me. And
they're up to the the 21 or the 22. Kay just got the latest, whatever they replaced the Note with. Because I don't think they're making the Note anymore, but it's like they're still making the Note. It's just not called the Note anymore. It's now like the 22S Ultra Super Mega something edition.
I mean, this one's got a few little scratches on the screen, and it's that seafoam green color or whatever, but I put it in the red and black case, and it's great, and the camera is fantastic. So some of the video that you'll be seeing in the future on the Garage channel will be filmed right here on this guy, which is pretty cool.
I just realized it's 6:35. Time just flew by.
It is, absolutely.
Well, I have had no...
Good on everybody. Oh.
It looks like I've had no layer shifts, so I'm going to let this Benchy finish. It's entirely possible because, like, for those who don't know how crash detection works, which is probably nobody in here, but the crash detection is basically just, I think it's doing voltage monitoring, like basically, or amperage draw measuring.
Amperage.
To say, so those bearing or the bushings could be increasing the amount of power it's requiring to move the bed, and it could be misinterpreting that as like, oh, there was a layer shift because this movement took a little more power, but it didn't actually shift.
Right.
So it goes crash detection, but so I may not even need it.
Yeah, like it feels it's more resistive, therefore the current goes up in the motor and it panics, and then it does that whole reset thing, and that's what causes the problem.
Well, because crash detection isn't perfect. It's a hopefully save your print type thing, but having it trigger repeatedly could lead to more issues than it solves.
Right.
So.
Well, you got anything you want to promote?
I was hoping to have a new video out this week, but it turns out I'm going to have to travel next weekend, so it'll probably be the week after. I've started filming it. If you're not following me on Twitter, on my PNP Retrospective Twitter account, you should. I've been tweeting out pictures and stuff of what I've been working on.
And I'm fairly certain the links are in the description for that.
If not, we'll add them, probably.
If not, I mean, most of you are following me on Twitter because that's how you know about these streams. Otherwise, they're a big mystery. But I always tag both of James's channels in there to get both sides of that audience. But I also hope to have a video out this week. Could be next week.
Yeah. I would say it's about 90% chance it'll be next week. That is the other thing I'll mention. Actually, we'll talk about it offline. So yeah, that's it for me.
So you guys get no information. Sorry.
It's gonna be a surprise.
Yeah. But I do want to say thank you to each and every one of you for showing up and watching.
Wait, and even that guy?
Even that guy. Yeah. Okay. Not that guy. Were you talking about that guy? Yeah, not that guy.
Oh no, that guy gets the bird, like read between the lines.
A bigger thank you to anybody that goes back and watches these after the fact, because I have a really hard time watching live streams after. Yeah. Not that I don't enjoy the content, but I hate the fact that I don't.
Half of it's interaction, right?
Yeah, I don't get to, like, they'll say something or ask a question, and then I'm like, I'm not going to call him out because I think he's really kind of a great guy. But there's a guy who makes videos more towards the automotive side. Has over 100,000 followers. He must be doing something right. But when I watch his videos, a lot of times I will see him do things that aren't right or could be done better or dangerous, or, not could be done dangerous, but is being done dangerous. And I will, quick comment, hey, look into this or whatever. And he immediately fires back like, nope, doing it my way. Too bad for you. And I
And then
hate
he plugs in his printer and everything goes out.
and then the thing goes out. Yeah. So I like the interactive. I love being interactive. I really look forward to doing some live streams on the other channel. I just got to figure out like how. Like I'm trying to think of what kind of projects that I can do, because I don't want to just do AMAs and stuff. So I'd like to be working on projects out there. It is getting cooler. We are getting into some cooler weather. I'm going to be building some props for the Christmas lights very soon. So maybe I can do some streams out there during those. So that'll be cool. But Uncle Ron said, have a good one, guys. Glenn, I'm planning on coming down for Orlando Maker Faire. That's awesome. Dad's in the hospital. That's not good. I hope he is. Hopefully he is well and everything comes out okay. I didn't know he was in the hospital.
Keep us posted. I did not know either.
Completely small town. Never run into Poppy Ron ever, which is really weird because I run into people I know all the time, and I usually like hide and like go around to the other side of the store or whatever. But anyway, so yeah, thoughts and prayers, Uncle Ron. Thoughts and prayers. It just went in today. Well, that's why we didn't know. So, but thank you guys for tuning in. We will do it again next week. Yeah, next week is fine. In fact, next week is quite critical that I be here, and I'll tell you guys that story.
Week after is Halloween, so we'll probably discuss and then figure out what we're gonna do there.
Yeah, we can do that. Halloween's actually on Monday, though.
Is it?
I'm fairly certain it's on Monday.
I thought it was on. I might have been looking at it. Oh, you're right.
It's on Monday.
Okay, never mind then.
So
I can shut my pie hole
because we can't fill your pie hole with Halloween candy. But either which way, we'll be doing it again next week, and we hope to have you here. We love each and every one of you, and until next time, as always, print on.